Yeah, I think we've been challenging ourselves to have a better start than what we've had in the last 3 rounds. And I thought the first half was good. I thought the forward pack rolled up their sleeves and were able to make some dents into the Bulls pack. But from a performance point of view, we wanted to back up lost performance, which we did. But it probably got a bit scrappy in that last 15 minutes, didn't it? Yeah, we'll take lots of confidence. Again, we gave a lot of guys big game time, particularly guys who came off the bench. Cecil Parsons, Ron Swart, Zox Cavani. We were cautious with Rena Jonker, so we took him off early. So yeah, and they did something. Pity about the ill discipline. So going to Kimberley will probably have, not probably, but will have to be a bit better from a discipline point of view. But definitely, yeah, we up there in the log. And now over next week we've got to show whether we've got the mettle to go all the way and have serious title credentials.
And actually, there was a few things that were not actually right. If you look at now that actually yellow card, I think turns. I think there was some 4 or 5 handling errors in the first half.
Yeah, we played a quarter of the game with 14 men. So there's a lot to be said for that. So guys fought hard a little bit. But yeah, again, we're going to have to sharpen up our discipline, particularly in the second half. In the first half, to only concede 4 penalties was good. But yeah, we choked up quite too many in the second half. But to have played a quarter of the game with 14 men and to walk away with 5 points isn't too shabby.
So, okay, just a word on your scrum, because it seemed that's kind of what really gave you guys momentum, a lot of platform from the scrum.
Yeah, our scrum's grown in leaps and bounds. If you take the first week versus the Cheetahs, last week we were good. This week I thought we were outstanding, particularly Morgan Nadir and Konrad van Vuren. And even then, those last 2 scrums with 7 men, Cecil Parsons and Ron Swart stood their ground with 7 men. We didn't put an extra guy in the scrum. So again, there's so many positives to take out of that. We've just got to now put it together, all of it together, as opposed to playing in bits and pieces or one half good and one half sort of, vanilla.
Coach,
a comment on the crowd here at UJ Stadium?
Yeah, this is good. I thought the crowd was good. We had a decent crowd, with an intimate crowd, and we're just glad that this experiment of ours has come through. And the challenge is in 2 weeks' time. We encourage everyone again to go to Wits and pack that out. Again, the 2 universities have been good to us. Yesterday we filled an under-20 team full of students. Our junior Springboks some are injured, some are badly injured, some are catching up on deferred exams. But hopefully we'll see them this week.
Coach, just Showblom got man of the match. Just your thoughts on how he went today.
Yeah, Dylan's grown in leaps and bounds. He finished off calling the line out. I thought he called it well. We've challenged him from a contributions point of view, and he had plenty today. Illustrative in him cramping at the end. And 1 or 2 breaks, he's a bit athletic, so I think that caught the crowd. But very good. Good in the maul stop, good in the maul himself, carried well, he had good contributions, and we've challenged him a hell of a lot on his contributions, and he's come through. So I'm glad for him. But again, hopefully next week he can produce the same.
2 out of 3 so far. How are your thoughts? What are your thoughts just on this guys who've played URC coming in mixing with the younger players?
Yeah, we're trying to do that. We've got we had another debutant today again in Kalemo Mento who wasn't bad. We've got 14 players in the team with only 3 Currie Cup caps. So our challenge is just to fight for giving them experience. And this was a good experience, and playing in front of a crowd like this. But then Jared Cairns and Delbo, they're probably a little bit silly around the discipline. But our hope is that they envelop them and sort of show them around. Particularly at the end there when the captain was off, Jared was essentially by himself. Him and Dylan Showblom in the pack. Right, we took Renat off in the backs, so we were really green in the back. But yeah, that's our challenge. We don't want to have too many young guys on the field, but there's no other way to play them or to blood them other than playing them. So it's a balance of the two.
Coach, will there be a requirement to use some of the regular URC guys as for game time for the All Black match that the Lions will play?
Yeah, the URC group is going a different route in terms of prep. So we prep against them. We're giving them the prep that they require for the All Black game. We probably want to keep our, no, not probably, we're going to keep our powder dry a little bit so that by the time I think it's the 25th. Is it the 25th?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
4 weeks' time.
yeah, in a month's time, so that by the time they get there, they're ready. They only started rugby training last week, Monday, in any event. So, yeah, it'll probably be too soon for them, if I'm honest with you.
But are any of them going to get a chance in the Currie Cup before that or not?
No, they won't.
Mziwakhe, you mentioned the forward platform you guys had, but the last 2 weeks, I think any coach would be delighted to have the sort of loose forwards and the performances they've been producing, not just the starting three, but also off the bench, so having a lot of impact.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Like we're trying to sort of get Renzo to come off the bench in that last 30, to be a guy who makes an impact and a guy who brings a bit of leadership. But I thought Tando Biela today was outstanding. For a 21-year-old, he put in a big shift. He probably was a close shot for man of the match. And he brings an incredible amount of physicality. Jared Cairns, apart from his yellow card, was good. Mone Fenta did some really good things, especially with the ball. He's a handful. So, and the challenge is to back it up. And we've got to go to Kimberley next week and roll up our sleeves and do something special there.